moviegoers, and welcome back to another edition of Have You Seen It? I am your host, Denise, and we have returned from a short hiatus and back in the theaters, or in this case, back on Netflix, checking out some movies. So, I'm waiting for a few movies to be released in theaters, so while I was on hiatus, I did check out a few movies on Netflix. And today's review, I had to choose between, two really good movies, I thought. And I'm going to start with this one, and maybe next week I'll review the other movie. But today's review is the movie Fair Play. It is on Netflix and currently among the top 10 movies. It is number 3. So if you're you pay attention to that in terms of what number 1 through 10 movies are on Netflix, this one is number 3. This movie stars Phoebe Dynevor. You may remember her from the Bridgerton series, and Alden Ehrenreich. I think I got that correct. Alden Ehrenreich. He plays Luke, and Phoebe's character is Emily in this movie. So, this movie centers around the couple, Emily and Luke. They are a young couple, very much in love, and they both work for an investment banking company. Okay, they are pretty good at what they do, but they are dating against company policy. Okay, so when the movie starts, you see them enjoying themselves at a wedding. And then as the next scene, we progress to the next scene, we see them both getting ready for work. But because, they're not allowed to date, they separate and take different modes of transportation to work. And when they get there, they just kind of keep it on the low. So keep that in mind. So when the movie starts, you see the various investment bankers in their, I'll say their pit area, where all of their computers and monitors are lined up side by side, taking up this vast area. And then you have the management, I would say, or the supervisors, who have their offices on the outside of this, perimeter, and it's like in a glass enclosed section. So the supervisors can see what the employees are doing, but the employees can also see what the supervisors are doing. Not so much hear what they say, but they can see interactions between themselves and other employees. Well, very early on, an employee is having quite the meltdown inside one of these glass enclosed offices. And his meltdown is such that security is called, and he is escorted out of the office and out of the building. So his job was that of program manager or project manager. And so now his position is vacant. So Emily's character overhears a conversation, and she thinks that Luke is going to be promoted to that position. So, she tells him, hey, I heard some talking and I hear some buzz and I've got some feedback from some people, and I think that position is yours. She kind of puts it out there to him in a way that makes him think, oh, okay, I have this job. She kind of thinks she's very confident that he gets a job. Well, fast forward, Emily receives phone calls at odd hours of the night, just to give you some perspective on her relationship with one of the senior managers. He calls her, late at night, and, next thing you know, she and this supervisor are at a bar somewhere having a conversation about the job. But, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, midnight, this is kind of absurd, but, she, hops to it, and she always answers that call. So as the movie progresses, when it's time to fill that position, the position does not go to Luke. That position goes to Emily. She is quite shocked, surprised, taken aback, caught off guard. And he obviously is like, oh, okay, congratulations, good for you. This is good for you. I know you'll do good in the position. So in the beginning, there's this kind of tiptoeing. Emily is like, is it, you okay with this? I didn't know anything about it. I'm not trying to sabotage you. And he's, it's fine, it's fine. Let's fast forward. It isn't fine with Luke. He is feeling some kind of way, but, he's keeping it inside, or so he thinks, but on the outside, at work and also at home, because they live together, Emily is kind of seeing a change in him. And of course, he's like, no, I'm focusing on some other things. I got some other things cooking, I can bring something to the table at another time, and, it'll be fine. He kind of reassures her, but in the back of her mind, she's like, nah, something's not right. So lo and behold, this train wrecks, and it wrecks badly. And when it does, I'm telling you, the tension, the stress between the two of them, her relationship at work with her other male counterparts, if you will. It's a very male-oriented work environment. So you've got some, discrimination. You've got, she's got to endure all of that. Talking behind her back and all of that kind of nonsense. But I'm telling you, the relationship is tumultuous, it's volatile, it's intense. The jealousy is off the rails. Once, Phoebe starts working in this new position, and, Luke is like, wow, you really are trying to do me this way. There's sabotage, all of this, and it just intensifies as the movie goes on and on and on. And I'm telling you, the destructive behavior between the two of them is kind of reminiscent of, like, think Fatal Attraction and Glenn Close and her craziness towards Michael Douglas's character. So it's, that kind of yelling and screaming and fighting over this job. Okay. So I stuck with it. It's just under 2 hours, but I enjoyed it. Now, the whole financial aspect of the movie, that's like way over my head and way above my pay scale. But just the relationships between the key players was like, wow, very explosive. The ending was a what the hell did I just see kind of situation. So if you got some time, check out Fair Play on Netflix. I think you will enjoy this one. So that is my review. All right, folks, I am jumping into my Nailed It. My Nailed It for this week is from one of my favorite movies, The Untouchables, and the scene between Sean Connery and Kevin Costner on the bridge when they have their initial meeting, which turns into a great friendship. But, Kevin Costner has just been made a fool of, and he's having a bad day, and he's walking, this bridge alone. You're thinking he's gonna, end it all. And Sean Connery is on his beat, and he's checking him out, and he questions him, approaches him about throwing some garbage in the river. And then they have this conversation, and they're feeling each other out. But at the end of that conversation, there are two lines in that movie that still stick with me to this day, and I recite them quite often. One is when Sean Connery asks, Kevin Costner, what do you do, or who are you, whatever. And he says, I work for the Treasury Department. And, Sean Connery is like, okay. And he's like, I just told you I work for the Treasury Department, and, you just standing there basically. And he's like, who would claim to be that who is not? And then at the end, when they end their conversation and they walk away, and Sean Connery says to him, here ended the lesson. I don't know how many times I have said those two lines since I've seen that movie, but very, very, very touching moment. And that's my nailed it. Just that scene alone, the start of a wonderful friendship. All right. So, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, have you seen it with Denise, and there I will be. All right, folks, so you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to watch a movie, either in the theater or on a streaming platform. And I'm going to watch a movie as well. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.